Okay, welcome guys to the next Blender tutorial. So today we're going to be making kind of a box with a little bit of scientific stuff within it. This is the only way that I can really describe it. Some little sciencey jars inside of it. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off by deleting the default cube just on here. And we are going to add, you can either use a cylinder or you can use a circle depending on your preference. And we're just going to make that a little bit bigger just so you guys can see what's going on. I'm going to go to edit mode right here and I'm just going to press F for fill. And we're going to go E for extrude. And what you want to do, just scale it outwards just slightly on the sides. So you've got that little bit of a bevel. And we're going to go E for extrude straight up. We press G. Bring that all the way up. As high as you would like it. So I'm going to have mine roughly this tall. We're going to go E for extrude. Now this is where we're going to start making the neck of the bottle a little bit. So we're going to go E for extrude again, scale inwards, E for extrude, we'll scale inwards, and then E for extrude and just round it off, just at the top, just about here. Just make that a little bit smaller. And we're going to go E for extrude again. And then E for extrude, and this will be the top of the bottle that we're going to have. And then E for extrude again. You don't have to get this perfectly neat on top because we are going to put a lid on the top of the jar. So if we take the X-ray mode right here, we can now see inside. So we just press 1 on your number pad. If we go E for extrude and bring this down, we can now see the inside of our bottle. So we're just going to go ahead and just scale this one outwards. E for extrude. And then S to scale. And just get it roughly the size of the inside of the bottle. So now I think on this one I've gone a little bit too thick with the glass on the outside. So what I'm going to do, just backtrack it, Control Z. We're going to go E for extrude, scale outwards, and then E for extrude and just bring it all the way down. So this will be our glass jar within our project. I'm just going to press G just to move this down a little bit. Then E for extrude, and then I'm just going to round it off just a little bit inside of the base. So now you'll notice that I've got this little space right here where the bottom is actually intersecting with the bottom piece that we have right here. So what we're going to do, take off the X-ray mode, go onto your faces right here. Select this one. And so if we go back on the X-ray mode, what we can do, just press 1. E for extrude. You're just going to want to just bevel this off just a little bit. Not too much, but just enough for a little container. Maybe just give it a little bit of a base. E for extrude, just pull that over. And then E for extrude and just go up just slightly. So this will be one of your jars that you have. And then we'll put the lid on in a moment. So you'll notice as well there's a lot of lines coming down here. So the reason for that is because it's not shaded smooth at the moment. So what we're going to do, shade smooth. What we can do with this, so all we need is one sample of a jar and then we're going to duplicate them in the box. So when we're making the lid, we're going to go to mesh. We'll use a cylinder for this one. It's easier. We're going to press 1 on the number pad just to put this sideways. Make sure that this sits just above here. So what you want to do, just scale it in just a little bit. So you've got that nice little tight lid just there. Right click shade smooth. Make sure that it's even on both sides. Take this central face right here and we're going to go E for extrude, scale it inwards, E for extrude, and just scale it inwards so it's got that nice little bevel just on the side, just there. And if you want to, you can go Control R, put a little loop cut in right there, and then scale outwards. So now we've got this nice little lid that sits on top. And that's our jar. So to make the glass of this jar and to make the liquid on the inside, we're going to first go to the render engine, which is Eevee. We're going to change it to cycles, and then we're going to go to the materials tab right here, press new, And on this material, we're just going to name it glass. So we come down to principle BSDF right here, and then we'll change it to glass BSDF. I'm going to take the roughness down. Now when we render this, we will now see that we've got this glass. So the roughness is still up a little bit. So if you want that roughness on the glass, you can have it, but within this project, I kind of want to take this roughness down. So maybe we could have a little bit of roughness. The best thing about this as well, we could go into the shaded tab and we could add a Veroni texture, which will give us scratches upon the glass, a little bit of buffering. It is super warm in this office. I've got the computer right underneath me. It's like, oh. Right, so we'll take the lid. We want a new texture for this one. So let's select the lid right there. We'll go for new. And I'm going to do like a nice kind of shiny silver just at the top. Now obviously you can't really see the shaders that well, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a plane in the bottom. It's totally up to you whether you want to do the same. And I'm also going to change this lighting to a sun, so that you guys can see what's going on a little better. So it is super bright when you turn it on. If you just press 5 in the strength, it should just come straight down. So we have this little bottle going on right here, and I don't really like the way that the glass is. So what I'm going to do, go to the texture and just mess around with your IOR if the glass is a little bit too much. So you can tone it down. You can make it a little bit more curved, depending on your preference and what you'd like. So I'm going to take that roughness all the way down actually. So we've got our little bottle, and now we've got to make the case, and we also have to make the glass that goes in front of the case, and the little kind of almost DNA strand thing that's going inside of it. So to make the little DNA strand, what we're going to do, press G, put a circle in there, press G, and this will come out sideways, I believe, when I was looking at my notes. So if we go to edit mode, we're going to press F for fill, leave it as it is, object mode. We're going to go to the modifiers right here, add modifier, and you want screw. So just type it in if it's not there. So now you'll notice that nothing's really happening. So we want the y-axis, I believe it's the y-axis, 1 second. Yeah, y-axis. And just move the screw across. Now you can add intersections as well, so you can make it a little bit bigger if you wanted to. Just as so. Make it a little bit more wound. So with this as well, you have all these little sections, so you can now subdivide and stuff. So I'm just going to right click subdivide. Maybe I don't want so many sections, but let's see what fits in the bottle before we begin. So I'm just going to go rotate, and then we're going to go 90. Let's press G, bring it into the jar. Now if you want to go to number pad 1, and then we will go to X-ray, and now we can see what's going on inside of the jar. So we can actually scale this down, or if you want to, you can have it a little bit bigger. So generally I would put it like that, so when we make the box, this will all be hidden anyway. I mean, you can put it like that if you'd like to. It looks a little bit sloppy, I'll be honest, but it looks a lot better, I think. I'm just going to go ahead and just section this down just a tiny bit so this fits and sits. So maybe we can have that, and then, yeah. So it fits in your lid as well, so it's hidden by the lid partially. So if I just go to render mode, we now have this jar with almost like this DNA kind of strand inside of it. Almost. So what can we do with this? Let's see. So I kind of like the way that it's going round, but I want to make it a little bit thinner. So maybe we could do render. You can mess around with some of these settings as well. The angle as well, if you're really interested in the angle. So now we have a bit more of a split in between them. So I'm just going to go ahead and just move mine a little bit lower, and then I will add a fourth layer. Change that to 4. So I'm going to have mine like that. So now, what I'm going to do, if we go into the materials section, and we do a new material, we'll call this DNA strand. DNA. We'll call this DNA 1. We'll go to emission. And I'm going to make this like a funky kind of green colour. We can always change this afterwards. If you don't like the emission, you can change it. As well, you can go into the shading tab right here. You can do something really cool. I better press G and just bring this out so you guys can see what's going on. So, if you don't like this solid colour, we can go with add. And we can go with noise texture. You want colour to colour. And you get this funky kind of little pattern going on. So, if we go to add, we could go colour ramp. Let's see. Colour ramp right there. And then we can add the green back into that. So now we've kind of got this nice little pattern going on. You can distort it a little bit so it looks like kind of a weird kind of an alien kind of thing. It's like deepen it a little bit. And then we can put it back in the jar. So we got all of that in there. I think that should be correct. Let's go back to the layout. So now you've kind of got this like gunky kind of alien stuff going on. So next thing you could do, you could add some liquid to this as well. So we could go add. Let's go with cylinder. Probably work best. Let's go G. And what you want to do, since we've not moved it off the original X, let's press 1. Scale it up. Just get it so that it's just in front of these little barriers that you've got right there. Scale it in. Let's press G. Let's move it up and down. And we go to edit mode. And then we're going to go back to 1. E for extrude. E for extrude again. Scale it inwards. So now, when we're finished with this one, we should have a jar with just this in the middle. So, how do you make this invisible? Well, I'll make it at least liquid. We're going to press new. We're going to press liquid 1. Sorry, we're going to type liquid 1, not press liquid 1. And we're going to make this slightly green, just to complement the background. And then we're just going to pull the alpha. So now, we've got this little jar with kind of an alien kind of strand inside of it. So now what we can do, if you select the top of this jar just as such, we go Shift D, move this across, we can make a new jar. And then we can go Shift D, move this across and make a new jar. The best thing about this is that we can now, if we go into wireframe mode, say if you select the DNA strand in the middle, we could go, let's copy this one, so DNA strand 001, we want to put DNA strand 2. So maybe they use the same liquid in each file. Let's see, so if we go to the shading tab, change the screen out for a red. You want to do the same with this one as well, so double again, it's going to go DNA 001, we want to put that DNA 3. So this one will be, say we could have this one as a blue. So now, when we go back to these and we render them, we've got 3 little jars with some alien DNA strands in there. So now we just have to make the box. You could add some texture to some of these as well if you wanted to, like maybe make them a bit of a deeper kind of grey. Let's see, what else have we got? So, I want to make the box. So the box is pretty simple. I'm just going to go ahead and grab these and just move these to the side just for 1 second because we need the space. So I'm just going to make a cube. Just make it a little bit bigger. Just place it in the middle. I'm just going to take X-ray mode off for a moment. Okay, so when we make this, we want a nice big box to store these in. We're going to go edit mode. Take this front face. We'll go E-fret extrude. Keep it where it is. Scale it inwards. And then go E-fret extrude and bring it to the back. Now at this point, because these jars are quite thin, you can in theory pull this forward. So it can just be just there. Okay, so we can go, let's go A, and I'm just going to subdivide this box just a little bit. Let's see. So we'll shade this smooth, subdivide and then shade smooth. So the front glass, what we're going to want to do, to make sure that all the colours are the same, we want the same procedure, we want the same materials essentially, sorry. So we're going to go shiny black. And this one will be the shiny black. So I've got black. Take the roughness down a little bit. And then we're going to go ahead and add, let's go with a plane. Rotate 90 degrees. Oops. Try that again. Rotate 90. Press G, bring it forward. Bring it to the centre. Now you want to make sure, if we go to edit mode, it might be easier. If you press 1, you want to make sure each of these line up with the box. So let's put G there. Take this one. G there. Take this one and this one, just go to that side. So now what we're going to do with this is we're going to go, if I got that correct, yep I did. Alright, so select everything, we're going to go E-fret extrude. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave it there and then scale inwards. And then I'm going to delete that face. And then what you want to do is delete the face at the back as well. So then press A, E-fret extrude, and now we've kind of got this nice little surface going on. So I'm just going to scale this inwards just a little bit, so we've got that nice little bevel. See, G on that one. Okay, so because we beveled this on the outside, inevitably it's going to be beveled in a weird way on the inside. So we're going to take these little side pieces right here and just stretch them out to the bottom so that they roughly match up. And the one at the top just upwards slightly so that roughly matches up. So now what we want to do, once we've got this, shade it smooth. We go down to this drop down right here and we'll go with glass. Oh, sorry, we'll go with the shiny black so that it matches. So you're going to want a little bit of a seam around the edge, just a little bit away from the box itself. So I'm going to go add, we're going to go plane again. G, bring it forward, rotate by 90, G upward, and we're just going to scale this outwards. Just as such. And I'm going to just bring this forward. And what I'm going to do, make this one glass. So now we have this little kind of cabinet thing going on. And then I'm going to add text. So when you do the text, edit mode is to change the text. I got really stuck with this originally when I first got the program. I was like, how do I edit that? So I'm going to take the text to begin with. And we're just going to rotate this by 90. G, bring it up, and then we'll go and place this up against the side right here. So once we've got this, we're going to go onto the data tab right at the bottom. And what you want to do is you want to bevel this and extrude it a little bit. So let's see, I think that's too far back, I can't see what's going on. Okay, just about there. You can offset the text as well if you'd like to. So say this box has been damaged at some point. So you see now that there's this little kind of bump coming out. You can make that shorter if you want to. So I'm going to make this a little bit weathered. So I'm just going to put the offset at 0.01 millimeter. So now we can type anything here with edit mode. So we can go, I don't know what you call it. Trying to think of a name. You can say like DNA, something, I don't know. I'm just going to put some text there. So we can put like the DNA. Let's see. So now what we want to do, once we've got this nice little box set up, let's put the samples inside of the box. So let's box select this, press G. You want to make sure that they sit just nice and neat, just at the bottom of the box. You can use X-ray for this if you like. I might actually pull the bottom of the box up just a little bit. I don't like how that's sticking out at the bottom. So let's take this box right here, we'll go edit mode. Just going to grab these. And then we want to press G just to bring it down, or you could do E-for extrude if you wanted to. And then we've got this nice little base. So once we've done that, we're going to have to do a shelf on the inside as well. So now we've got all these little bottles with nothing to sit on. So if we go to wireframe just for 1 second, side facing, we can add plane, scale it out. Oops, where's our plane gone? So if we just scale this out so it's the size of the box, and just press G, bring it up. I guarantee we'll come off this and it'll be the wrong size. Yeah. So now we just need to size this up relatively good. So you can take this side right here, press G, bring it across, and then make sure none of this is clipping at the sides right here as well. Alright, so what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to move the light away from this part as well. And just have it directed at the box so we can kind of see what's going on. Just bring that floor up a little bit. And now we have this little box with the DNA stuff in. Now, I don't like the grey on this box. I think it's a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is just to turn down the roughness just a little bit. I'm going to also make this bit darker. So, if you wanted to, you can build on the inside of the box. Totally up to you. So, with this DNA as well, what I'm going to do is a new tab. We're going to make this slightly metallic. So it's almost like it's stuck on the glass as well. And what we can do with the shading tab is when we have this, we can add a Veroni texture. Let's see, let's add Veroni. I'm going to go ahead and actually duplicate this. So this is going to be glass 01, or at least glass 2. Let's add Veroni. Colour to colour. You get all these little markings and stuff. You can do a little bit of roughness and stuff. So these are going to be some scratches going across. If we go to add, we can go with colour ramp. So usually I do this on Principle BSDF actually. I think it'd be a lot easier. So now we can see that we've got all these little bumps in the glass and stuff. If we put colour to roughness, we can now see that we've got some shaded glass as well. So if you take down the roughness, improve that randomness a little bit, you can actually do this with it. You have little scratches, little imperfections, like it's been dropped a couple of times. The IOI you can definitely edit. So if we had a bump node in here as well, and put it to the height, should be able to see a little bit more imperfections as well. So there'll only be little differences, but you'll be able to see like little scratches, little bits all over the place. And we can do the same to the outside of the box actually. I might, let's see, I'm going to go for a bevel. I'm just going to bevel this out just a little bit more. I think it's too straight. So if we take this one right here and then we go to add, and we can go noise. I think someone's just posted something through the door and my dog's playing with it. I might have to go grab him in a second. Yeah, one second. It's bothering me. What you got, dude? Oh, it's okay. It's the letters. Alright, so when we get to this part, sorry about that. When we get to this part, we're going to go add. We'll go colour ramp. We're just going to bring that black just in a little bit. Have these little bumps with the white. Maybe distort a little bit. Scale it up. And then we're going to add a bump. So colour to height. You can play around with this as much as you need. Maybe take that roughness down just a little bit. Just by slight. So now we have this nice little texture that's going on the outside. And what you can actually do as well, you can take the nice texture in the bump. If you select these two together. Oops. Press Shift D, bring it down. And then put your normal to your roughness. And now you've kind of got this little shiny, kind of textured box. Almost. Just for those. Now you've got the little lines on there for the glass, the little scratches. You've got your product in the back. So what I would suggest with this as well, if we just do a really quick edit, if you wanted a white background on the inside but you've got black on the outside, for example, you could take the add and we'll go cube. It's going to take a little bit of fiddling, but once you get it, it should be okay. So just put this cube just roughly the size of your box, and we're going to do the same thing of what we did with the plane. We're going to go edit mode and we'll use faces this time. So bottom face, bring it up. Front face, going to bring that in, although the front face we won't need it. And then bring the back in as well. So this front face right here, we can just press delete faces. So if you wanted to, for the purpose of this, select your door, essentially, bring it up, and then what we're going to do, edit mode, we'll take this in, press G, put this in the middle, bring this up right here, then we're just going to bring this down. And then we're going to select the outside bits right here. So we're going to go with this right here. Just go ahead and select all of these. Press G, bring it forward. And then all you need to do is place your lid over the top. Now if you wanted these secured, we could go with add. And we could go with, let's see, you don't want the straps to go straight through the bottle. So what I would suggest is take a cylinder, just bring it out the front, so it roughly fits. We're just going to put it just like this, G, bring it up. We'll go edit mode, select your top, select your bottom. We're going to go delete faces. Press A to select everything. E for extrude. Keep it where it is and then scale it outwards. So it's just like this. So now we have this nice little ring. We can go shade smooth. And then we can start placing them onto these bottles as if they're being held in at the back. So we can go one here. We can also move this back as well. So what I'm going to do, the texture for this one, we could do, say, black. One here, one here. Shift it across. One here and one here. And then one here and one here. So when we get to this box right here, and we go to edit mode, select the face at the back and just bring this forward. Where are we going? Yeah. Okay, so bring this forward just slightly. And now it looks like they're being held in place by the back of the box. And what you can do as well, if you really wanted to, you can go with, let's go with cylinder again. Press G, bring it forward. Rotate this 90. Scale outwards. I'm going to scale it in just to fit the back of the box. And just kind of position it almost like headlights above the product. Just here. And then we're going to go new. We'll change this to emission. And we'll go say like a nice yellow or something like that. I don't know. Whatever you want. So now we've got this little light that's going on in the box. So now we can make a secondary one, pull it forward. Make sure you're saving your work at this point. You can in theory get a fourth bottle in here, but I think we'll just stick with these for the moment. And so once you've done all of this, you can take your door and place it back. So we can take this, edit mode. Oops. There we go, edit mode. So now we can go like alien DNA. Let's go with capital. Oops, not S and I. D. There we go. Right. So, scale this one outwards. And then we've got this nice little funky box. I'm going to put some screws in it. Maybe just there, just there, just there, just there. You know what? I could probably get a fourth one of those in there. That's kind of bothering me that there's so much space. Let's see. I'm just going to go sideways right here. Right, if I take those, I know everything else has been selected, but double click for anything that you don't want. Oh. Right. Okay, so. In theory, I could get another bottle in there. It'd be a tight squeeze, but it could work. It could. Let's get this, this, this. Actually, you know what I could do? Repeated pattern. So this. Maybe they've got two of the same sample. Oops. We want the coil as well. Yeah. That looks better. Maybe we could take this blue, the DNA sample 2 that we just had, Let's see, make a new one. Let's go to shading tab. We can change this one to, say, a yellow. So now, got all these different samples. And maybe make this a little bit bigger. So now we've got all these nice little glowing samples. We've also got the light as well that's on the inside. So I mean, I think it might be that one. Turn that one down, yeah. Just slightly, so you can see them glowing, but they're not quite in the dark, so to speak. So now we can pull that out a little bit. This alien DNA thing. Oh, that's an emission. Okay, that shouldn't be an emission, but it's an emission nonetheless. So we just want natural material with that. So let's make those screws. Let's add. We'll go with. Let's go with UV sphere. Bring it forward. Scale it down. Just bring it across the corner right there. What I would suggest is just scale it downwards slightly. So you're just going to go scale and then just flatten it. For this one we could go with new, and we'll go with, say, a red. And then we want to duplicate it again, scale it down, and this one you can kind of push outwards a little bit. And this one will be new material, so we're going to go to edit mode, press the plus, assign it, and this one will be black. So I think I just moved that in the wrong direction. It's kind of hard to tell when you can't see. So yeah, you do the screws almost like this. Make it a little bit metallic. Pull that roughness just a little bit, so it's almost sealed. And we're just going to go Shift D, duplicate it down, select all 4 objects that you just made, Shift D, and then bring it to the opposite side as well. So it's almost like it's been screwed in. So the next thing that you can really do is just add some detail to the box if you wanted to. So we could go to edit mode. We could take this face, this face, this face, this face, this face, and this face, and then do the opposite on the opposite side. Efret extrude, and then we can just scale inwards. So now it's got little grips on the side of it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it really. I'm going to change this for sure. So if we go new for this material, add, and then we'll go Veroni. Oops. Yeah, add a Veroni texture to the base. Let's go with scale. Sorry about the flashing. Just trying to scale this up a little bit. Let's go with add, and we'll go bump. Just in the middle right there. Colour to height. And then we'll add a colour ramp. Just to go in the middle right there. To be honest with you, you could probably have this in the roughness. I'm just trying to make some sort of background base right here. So we take these two, Shift D, and then just put it into roughness. Should look pretty cool on the final render. So yeah, that would be the tutorial today. You want to align your camera as well. We can go with view. Go to align view, active camera to view. Just click the outside, press G, bring it back. Now you notice that it's doing this grey thing at the back, so it's like if I just press G, I bring it back like this. You don't want that happening. Just go to your camera settings right here at the bottom, and you want to press end. So just extend the end, so to speak, and depth of field. In regards to that, just use this little droplet. Select what you need to, and then turn down your f-stop, and it'll blur the background, but it'll keep your object somewhat in focus. So that's the tutorial today. If you liked, please subscribe, do all the usual stuff that you do on YouTube, and have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.